Okay, I want to ask you a question. How do you feel about no sabos? No Sabo kid is a term for young Hispanics or Latinos in the United States who don't speak Spanish fluently.
How do you say armpits in Spanish?
Armpetas.
And whether they are one or not, everyone seems to have an opinion about them.
Some people don't speak Spanish because of discrimination. Other people, you're f***ing lazy.
No sé si nomás soy yo, pero a mí me puedes llamar fea, cualquier cosa, pero el peor insulto es que me digan no Sabo kid.
I feel like you can tell when someone's a no Sabo because the way they speak their Spanish seems so textbook-like. They're not technically wrong, but it just sounds off.
Sometimes there's a certain judgment directed at no Sabo kids.
Oh my God, definitely felt shame for not speaking Spanish. People would kind of chuckle or laugh. You kind of lose yourself, and that shame sits with you. It sits with your soul. And now you're sitting in your own thoughts like, why did I do this to myself, you know?
What's interesting about where we are now in time is that a lot of these no Sabo kids are now adults and taking matters into their own hands to learn Spanish. And some of them are doing it with conversational clubs designed specifically for no Sabo adults.
A mí me gusta leerlos en voz alto.
You know, we don't traditionally get a space of no Sabo kids. We don't get a safe space of that.
How do these conversation clubs work? Who's starting them? And is it time we stop tying Spanish fluency to Latino identity in the United States? My name is Fernando, and this story is about the hyphen between no Sabos and Latinos. If you're new here, my name is Fernando Hurtado, and I'm a journalist who spent 10 years working at major media companies before leaving to become a YouTuber. Through In The Hyphen, I cover Latino culture in the United States. Subscribe to the channel so you don't miss the next video.
But, no sé. También podemos... ¿Tú lees en español? Do you read in Spanish?
Sí, poquito.
In Los Angeles, every Sunday evening outside of this grocery store, Kat Delgado meets with fellow no Sabo adults to improve their Spanish.
Me gusta el español porque, te da mucho detalle. Y las palabras tan largas. There's like a lot of words to say a really simple thing. I was looking at the calendar, but this was estaba revisando el menú en la refrigeradora. No, it was my first language. It was the main language you would use at home, but we would also use English. But I think as I went to school, all the kids spoke English. And I think I was everyone speaks English. They don't speak Spanish. I don't want to speak Spanish. I don't want to get made fun of. And so I really started to distance myself from even speaking it.
The group meets by this little table, and anyone is welcome to attend.
Yeah. How do you say injure?
Lastimar.
Oh, yeah. No me quiero lastimar.
The group is called Hablemos Español because that's what they do. They speak Spanish. Sometimes it's in the form of popcorn reading.
Verdaderamente especial.
Other times it's through games.
I try to reiterate that it's a club and not a class. Every club session meetup looks different. Last time we were talking about different books we like to read and things, and so I brought a childhood book that I've had since I was little that I just really love. And then I also brought a word search in Spanish because I'm if we start to integrate and just think, and we're slowly doing things that we know we can do in English, but thinking about them in Spanish.
Kat, who is a designer in Los Angeles, started the club 2 years ago out of a desire to reconnect with her heritage language.
I just was finding the urge to want to connect more in Spanish with people that look like me, with my parents. Growing up, it was my first language. And so I was wait, we should all meet here for an hour. Very casual, let's just meet here for an hour once a week and just see what happens. And the intention is to speak Spanish together, and we don't have to be perfect.
Hola, me llamo Kat.
In May, Kat posted a video about the club, and more than 15 people showed up.
17 de mayo nos vamos a reunir en El Sereno Greengrocer. Es completamente gratis y si quieres practicar tu español sin vergüenza, ahí vamos a estar y te espero allí. Adiós.
And they were yeah, we saw your video online. And I was whoa, this is kind of wild.
A few miles away, on Mondays at a restaurant in Los Angeles, another group meets, except this one is a little different.
When I was a kid, when I was 5, I went up to my mom and I said, I'm not going to call you mommy anymore, I'm going to call you mommy. And I stopped speaking Spanish, and I regret that now as an adult.
Roxy Diaz is one of the co-founders of La Conversación, a group that meets weekly. Similar to Hablemos Español, the group is casual and conversation-based. But unlike Hablemos Español, La Conversación is exclusively for Latino and Hispanic people.
Being surrounded by people who I don't have to explain. We all get it. We all have this shared understanding. We can make jokes and we can feel comfortable about it has been really powerful.
These clubs are popping up as the US Latinos' relationship to the Spanish language is changing dramatically. The share of Latinos who speak Spanish at home has decreased 10% in the last 24 years. That decrease is even sharper among US-born Latinos. Okay, I want to take a moment to tell you something. If you're still watching this video, I hope it means it's because you are enjoying my reporting. And if you want more of it, you should consider signing up for my free newsletter about Latino culture in the US. It's totally free and arrives in your inbox every other week. The link to subscribe is in the description. All right, back to the video. Christian Scanlon Corona is the other co-founder of La Conversación. He's a Mexican-American adoptee who grew up in Colorado.
I'm adopted, and that, born in Mexico, raised in the US. For that reason, I did not learn Spanish growing up, so I feel like it's always something that I've wanted to learn and be more connected with my family with. You know, you grow up in the US, there's not a whole lot of bilingualism to do that.
He actually spent most of his schooling avoiding Spanish.
I took German, 2 semesters of German. I forget almost all of it, but I really wanted to do something different. But yeah, did not want to turn over that rock, so decided like, yeah, I'm just gonna go completely 180, I'll take German.
In an Instagram post, he said he has 2 moms, 2 dads, 2 passports, and 1 large identity crisis he's been chewing anxiously on most of his life.
People would come up to me, assume I spoke Spanish, like I would have to politely tell them no. But I think the hardest critic was probably myself. Like I think I internalized a lot of that, like, I can't speak Spanish, like I don't even want to try, I don't feel worthy of, you know, like I can, or like have permission to speak it because I feel so bad at it.
The group attracts all types of people, and the restaurant didn't let me film there myself. The group sent me footage, but while I was there with the group, what surprised me was the level of fluency of some people. People like Daniela Castellanos, who I would consider perfectly fluent.
So I was born in Bogota, Colombia, and then I moved from Bogota to West Virginia, Morgantown, West Virginia. So at the age 5, I essentially stopped speaking Spanish.
I asked Daniela how one stopped speaking Spanish so quickly after arriving to the United States, especially if they're arriving with an adult who presumably has led their whole life in Spanish.
No, my mom always spoke Spanish to us. It was more of that, like, do I want to respond in Spanish or do I just want to respond in English and be like everyone else? It
wasn't until she was 22 and moved to New York that she decided to pick up Spanish again.
When I saw other Latinos and I saw like that pride of being Latino, and because in West Virginia most people are white, and you know, you as an adult you want to be different, but as a child you definitely don't, and I really got to see that in New York.
I also met people like Michelle Garcia, who admitted that her lack of Spanish fluency stems from internalized racism.
I'm first generation, and my parents are both immigrants from Argentina. Felt a lot of shame for being Latino, and like my sister and I in particular went like sort of like radicalized ourselves between the 2 of us, and we're like, we hate being Latino, we're not Latino. We used to call Mexicans Mexicans. We were these like 2 little racists. And then I got out of that when I realized, like, aligning myself with white supremacy doesn't make white people like me more. It just makes myself, like, hate myself more. So I think, like, around high school, that's really when I kind of examined the shame that I was feeling.
I asked all of these No Sabo adults if they had any goal in terms of their Spanish fluency. Was there a point where they were going to stop coming to this club because they had achieved their goal? Some actually had very concrete goals.
Really what I would like is if I had kids, I'd like to teach them Spanish, because it's a little scary that I'm going to have children who maybe have no connection to my cultural side, you know? And just giving them like a little bit of what I got, you know?
I still haven't gotten to the point of feeling comfortable outside of the club, of feeling comfortable speaking in Spanish outside, and I still will feel anxious here. So the big goal is getting to a place where I feel like I can switch back and forth between English and Spanish with that like ease, like it's just accessible to me instead of like this thing that I'm working really hard at.
I really want to connect more with my family in Mexico. Like I go and visit them a handful of times during the year. And then, you know, I just have friends who are bilingual too. And I really want that extra connection just to the language, to the people, to be able to, you know, have the availability of speaking both languages and have the benefits of that as well.
El maullido de la gata.
¿Qué es maullido?
Meows. It's been really cool to see friends who have, or to have friends who have like seen my journey, literally be like, wait, you sound really good. Like what? And I'm like, that's awesome, because this is also, I don't know, it just feels good to see that like the energy that you put in is working, you know? And yeah, I love speaking. I'll speak Spanish like all day, every day. Like anytime I get the opportunity, I speak it.
What do you think of these No Sabo adult conversation clubs? I'm also curious, has the way you think about No Sabo kids changed over the years? Let me know in the comments. Also, if you enjoyed this video, you might also like this other video I made on the topic. Thank you for watching.